Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? This is John Mason. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, and that is a time we pay our respects to all the women in our lives, our mothers, and our wives, and our girlfriends, and our sisters, and every other woman we come across. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. And if we want the best for the women in our lives, we must protect their reproductive rights. There are all these states going around that places the most onerous restrictions on abortions. Like, you can only have an abortion after so many weeks before you even know, the woman even knows that there's a fetus inside of her. And you remembered Katie Britt, the senator from Arkansas, who had this very bad case of ham acting after Biden's State of the Union address. Is that the best the Republicans can do? Well, anyway, she has this bright idea of a database. She's proposing this bill that would establish a database for all women who are pregnant. Hello, 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 John Mason. How is everybody? Hope you're all well. I'll start off first with an apology. I will not be able to put out a Mason Missile for September due to the fact that things have come up in my life and the high holidays are upon us. And I take this time to wish all of you a happy and prosperous new year. As my peeps say, L'Shana Tova. Okay, here's the rant. I'll start off by saying I deplore the murder of Charlie Kirk. It didn't have to go down like this. He had a wife and kids, and we must consider that. And that being said, Charlie Kirk was a racist, sexist, homophobic, anti-Semitic bigot. No doubt about that. There's no question of that. Kirk is recorded and it's all on, you can find it all on YouTube and all on and Media Matters. That's a good source to realize the kind of a hate and vitriol that Kirk espoused. And the career of Kirk was that he spent one semester in a community college. That's his whole education. And he hooked up with this millionaire who was active in the Tea Party movement. Remember those guys? And $4.5 million later, Kirk started Turning Point USA in the wake of the re-election of Obama in 2012. Excuse me. Gatorade break. It was set up to espouse the beauties of the free market. But Kirk realized that the free market wasn't selling as something to defend. So he called up the old reliables: racism, sexism, hate, xenophobia, transphobia, homophobia, Islamophobia. And that's what really became what Turning Point was about. See, that reminds us, our opponents, the the billionaires, the plutocrats, the oligarchs, they have us pitting one against the other with sexism and racism and xenophobia, the fear of the other. And to me, they show some facets of the MAGA movement, because this is what the MAGA movement is about. Oh, and also, Kirk was one of those MAGAs like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who wanted the Trump administration to let out all it knows about Epstein, release the Epstein files. If he doesn't release the Epstein files, what could he be hiding? See, the young man who hit Kirk, Tyler Robinson, was nowhere to the left. He grew up in a conservative Mormon family in Utah. His grandmother said that they don't know of any Democrats in their family. And Robinson was part of the Groyper movement led by Nick Fuentes. I don't know how the hell they got that word, Groyper. But the Groyper movement is, much of it is, apparently it's not far, Kirk was not even far enough to the right to suit them. That's what these movements, see some members in these movements would demand doctrinal purity. Like they must insist on everybody not slack on the doctrine, stick with the doctrine 110%. No compromise. And the Groyper movement, interestingly enough, is women-phobic. They hate women. They're also known as incels, short for involuntary celibates. They wouldn't go near women. And the MAGA white nationalist neo-fascist population is a market niche. Trump taps into that market niche to sell his junk, his gold-plated sneakers, his cryptocurrency, his all of his junk, and his Bible. Yet he utilizes it. He sells it to that market niche, the MAGAs. And it's a limited market, a very narrow market for everybody to tap into. And could the Fuentes have recognized Kirk as a competitor for that market niche? And so many establishment institutions have been constantly caving into Trump and his minions. Like starting with Jimmy Kimmel. The most obvious part is Jimmy Kimmel. Kimmel was just pointing out Kirk's racism and sexism, etc. And ABC all of a sudden took Kimmel off the air. See, Sinclair Broadcasting is a chain of TV stations that are way to the right. And all those stations are ABC affiliates. And the Sinclair company said it would not broadcast. They demanded that Kimmel be taken off the air, and ABC took it off the air. On a reminder, the Disney company is the parent company of ABC, as is the parent company of Hulu, the streaming service. And it'd be good to boycott those gutless wimps. And like I said, it has been I'm more than disgusted with the fact that all these all-powerful corporations, these multi-billion-dollar corporations, for whom $10 million to the CEO is pocket change. They don't, and some universities and some high-end law firms, they punk out for Trump. Our establishment institutions are led by gutless wimps. They don't have the balls to stand up to Trump. Ergo, we the people must take the initiative and organize ourselves in our work sites, in our neighborhoods, and stand up to Trump and everything he stands for. It needs to be at the local level, like the people of Chicago standing up to ICE, like that, stuff like that. And here's another factor. You know how the right wing is so fascinated with guns, such as like Tyler Robinson was. The fact guns are a way of asserting and displaying power, the power of life and death, literally. That's what conservatism is about. Defending up and holding on to hierarchy, with them, of course, at the top. And everyone else knows their place, or else. Guns are the instrument of doing so. And that's the way conservatism is. They feel they are the ones that are entitled to run the country, and everyone else submit to them and get out of their way. And and for them, people can't, even on their left, can't mourn Kirk enough. Like Sinclair demanded that Kimmel make a public apology to Kirk's family for telling the truth about Kirk, and make a big donation to the Kirk family. And don't do it, Kimmel. Do not do it, Kimmel. Stand fast. We got your back. And like I said, conservatives expect us to genuflect to them, to submit to them. And of course, there are these so-called moderate Democrats who encourage the rest of us to let's tone down the rhetoric. We can't have them angry at us. That's the kind of liberal please don't hurt us attitude. We can't stand up to them. We have to accommodate them. That's the way that's our ideal. Get together with the other side and express disagreements and work something out. Those days have never existed and they never will exist. Like I said, the conservative movement as it stands now is all about, not about reason, argument, or debate, or independent thinking. God, they can't have that. They'll use slander and distortion of our views, the old straw man, simply to maintain power and quiet us and put us in our place. We on the left and all other decent people must resist that tradition or temptation and submitting to them and stand up to them. So, that's it. That's my message for the day. I'm going to say it. Bullies, you can't accommodate bullies. That's what these guys are, is bullies. They don't want to be reasoned with, they want to be submitted to. And constantly submitting to them, giving them bits and pieces, ain't going to work. You must stand up to them. And you do that by organizing and voting. Little point of information. A couple of days ago, I was at the Sheet Metal Workers Hall on Columbus Boulevard in Philadelphia, taking classes from the city commissioners for election board workers. Yep, election board workers. And I'm now going to continue to tell everyone, get your ass out and vote. Vote like your country depends on it. Vote like your kids depend on it. Vote like your future generations depend on it, because it do. Okay? And on that cheery note, advertisements. All this work I do on my blog and my podcast and videos, all this fun stuff is work. And I pay money to get my material on these various platforms. And that's why I'm asking you to get on my website, johnomason.com, and click either the PayPal button or the Buy Me a Coffee button and see what you can give. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks. And also, my novel, Soldier of the Cross, is available on Amazon.com. It is a story of David Lucas, who, as a young man in the early 60s, is a drunk and a horror chaser and a school bully. He gets in trouble in the army. He comes out of the army as a fanatical born-again Christian, wanting to be a manly man for Jesus. But how he goes about it leads him into disaster. Here's another little thing. My third volume of poetry, Into the Dark, is available also on KDP Amazon. I know you'll love it. Thanks. And also, Hemperific is a lovely little CBD product store located on Snyder Avenue near 15th Street in South Philadelphia. There you'll find some of the finest cannabis-infused products. Flour and gummies and candies and teas and drinks and lip balm, hand sanitizer, and dog treats. Dog treats, yeah. Look them up, please. HemperificLLC.com. And also my beloved career and business coach, Michelle Snow. Michelle is excellent in helping you develop your professional career or small business. Let you know what you're doing right, where you need work, and help you network with other up-and-coming entrepreneurs and professionals. Please look her up, growwithsnow.com. Okay? Alrighty then. It's going to take guts, some balls to stand up to this regime. It reminds me of the term by the great Rabbi Hillel, which can be found in the Pirkei Avot. Where there is no hero, be thou that hero. And if you stand up, others will stand up. And others, and others, and others. And we'll see, and we'll see that the regime ain't so damn tough. Okay? That's it. You have a lovely weekend. And Lashana Tova. Shabbat Shalom. Bye.